Happy New Year, everyone. So I want to make a tradition. I did this last year. I want to continue it. Every beginning of the year, I want to put out a video on some tips or some things that I do that help me consume more consciously or make sure that whatever it is that I'm purchasing is something that I actually need. I've bought too many things in my lifetime that I end up either donating or selling or not using, things that aren't very practical, things that are super trendy, just stuff that I do not need. And I have learned from my mistakes, and I try my best to periodically remind you guys of how you can be a little bit more conscious when it comes to buying things and how to differentiate between something that is just an impulse buy or something that you really love but you're actually going to get use out of. So I'm going to talk about clothes. Obviously you can relate all of this to your wardrobe, but I'm also just going to talk about buying in general. One of the main things for me is social media. Okay, we are a society that is online. There's not much we can do about the influence that people have on us. There's not much we can do about the advertisements everywhere, whether it's on TV or on social media. Even if you aren't going online to purchase something, you're going online with the mentality of, oh, I'm just gonna check what people are doing. Like, you're 9 times out of 10 going to come across some kind of advertisement targeted specifically towards you. AI has gotten very, very good at that. One of the things that I recommend is limiting your time on social media. And I know that that is pretty much impossible for a lot of people. It's what we do to pass the time. It's what we do for entertainment. It's what we do to keep up with family and friends, half the time nowadays. So if you can't really limit your time because you actually enjoy social media, I think that you really have to make it a point to tailor the people that you follow. Unfollow people that are just constantly pushing out product. Make sure that the people that you are following are people that are consistently trustworthy. Do routine checks, whether it's yearly, twice a year, 3 times a year, for however many times you have to check the people that you're following. Go through your list and tailor them. Unfollow them, do whatever you have to do to avoid being exposed to certain people, and be extremely self-aware of the people that really influence you. I'm all for inclusivity. I'm all for following people that do not look like you. But if you are a person that is very easily influenced, you have to be self-aware enough. Like, you can't be ignorant to how easily influenced you are. Do a little self-check and ask yourself who really influences you when it comes to fashion or style. And if you see that you don't necessarily have their body type and you've purchased things from them that just have not worked out in the past, but you continue to trick yourself and believe that what works for them is somehow going to work for you, even though you guys have completely different body types, that is not a good thing. If you're not learning your lesson about it, you need to unfollow. Like, I know it sounds bad. I know it's kind of shallow to not follow people because they don't have your same body type. But if it's something that is really making you spend money on things that you're just not gonna wear, that just don't look good for you, don't suit you, don't look flattering, and you just do not learn your lesson about it, the best thing that you can do is unfollow them. I know it sounds sad, but it doesn't have to be, because you can just do research on your own body type, which is my next point. Learn about yourself. Learn about your body type. There's so many educational videos online on your body type, different body types, what looks good and what doesn't look good. So many people, I've done a couple of videos on broad shoulders or just like upside down triangles or like hourglass type of bodies. Those are the silhouettes that work for me. Those are the tips and tricks that work for my body. But there are so many different influencers out there, or people that just are very knowledgeable about their own bodies and even other body types, and they put this information out. Do your research, go on Google, see what type of a body shape you have, and see if you can find people that know about it, know how to style your specific body type. You can go back to following whoever it is that you want to follow, no matter what their body type is, once you have done research on your own body type and you know what works and what doesn't work for you. Because chances are, when you see something on someone that has a completely different body type, and you have this knowledge now, you're not going to be as easily influenced by them. You're going to be like, wow, that's beautiful. I might like those colors. I like that combination. I like those textures together. But I'm going to try clothes that are flattering for me, different silhouettes that maybe have the same colors. Get inspiration that way. Once you know what works and what doesn't work for your body type, the world is your oyster. Okay, you can pick and choose things from different people or magazines or celebrities or even interior design. Like I get a lot of inspiration for my clothes from interior design. I know it's weird, but you can get inspiration from everywhere and just like combine colors or combine textures in the silhouettes that work for you. So there is so much power in understanding your body type and learning what works and what doesn't work. So tailor the people that you follow, at least for a little bit, you know, mute them, do whatever you have to do, go and do your research on your own body and then unmute them and get other inspiration from them. You don't have to buy the exact same thing that works for them and their body type. Pay your bills first. Pay your bills first. Pay your bills first. I don't know how else to tell you guys this. What I do is I always, in the beginning of the month, the first week of the month, I get my bills out of the way. I pay my bills, whatever's left over for essentials or to buy my son, I do that. Any money that you can put in your savings, you do that. And then from your leftover money, that is where you shop from. You are a lot less likely to spend money on things that you don't need if you're working from your little leftover bucket of money. If you're working from your big bucket of money after you've been paid or before paying your bills, you're more likely to buy things because you think you can buy a lot more than you actually can, or maybe you should. I mean, you do whatever you want. This whole video I'm telling you what to do, you do whatever you want. You know, this is what I do. I always pay my bills first. So every point that I've mentioned in this video, I think is very important. I narrowed down everything that I've talked about before because I've made several of these videos before and I've talked about a lot of different, you know, points and tips. I'll link those videos down below. But if you could only take one tip away from this video, let it be this. Wish lists. I don't know how you're gonna make them. I don't know. Pull out a piece of paper on your notes in your phone. I use the Karma Now app, I think. The reason I like this one, it's not sponsored. This is not sponsored or anything, okay? I've been using this for years. And the reason I like this one is because I can put it on my toolbar. So whenever I'm on a website and I really like something, I just click the little icon on my toolbar and it gets added to my wish list. I make a wish list for every season. And the reason that I think wish lists are so important when it comes to shopping more consciously is because if you add things to your wish list instead of just making a cart and then just impulse buying things, you are more likely to revisit that wish list sometime in the future and be like, I actually found something I like more, or I don't need this, I don't like it as much anymore. When you like something, before going and buying it, if you see something on someone, before clicking on the link and buying it, just add it to your wish list and revisit it tomorrow, the day after, a week from now, a month from now. Like by then you probably found something you like more. Or you probably found a better quality thing, or you realize that you don't really like that. You don't think it's going to work for you. You actually saw it on someone who has your body type and you don't like it anymore. It's not going to work. There are just so many things that can happen between the time that like dopamine gets spiked in your brain and you're like, oh my God, I really, really want this. Like this looks so good. I can style it like this or whatever. Like so many things can happen between that little spark and a week from now that will just bring you down to reality again, or just change your mind. If a week passes or a month or, you know, a year, or however long you want to leave something on your wish list for, and you still want it really, really, really bad, then that's a good indicator that this is something that you could actually purchase. But even then, like before I go and buy something that's been on my wish list for a long time, I go through like a list of things that I ask myself. Is it useful? How's the quality? Is this gonna fit, you know, my body type well? Is this gonna look flattering on me? Is this a color that'll work for me? If it's clothes or an accessory, is it versatile? Can I wear this with a bunch of different things? You know, how can I style this with the stuff that I already own? Is it gonna work with my wardrobe? Is it practical? You know, if it's not clothes, like it's something that I'm going to utilize a lot. Is it gonna help me improve my life somehow? Is it something that's practical? Always go in your closet and check your inventory. Like the last little thing to check off the list before buying this item. Go in your closet, check your inventory. Do I have something that is very, very, very similar to this already? Because I'm all for buying the same silhouette in different colors and fabrics and textures. Like that is how you build a closet that you really love, because you know it's a silhouette that works for your body. However, if it's something that's super similar in color or shape or texture or fabric to something that you already own, you don't need it. You don't need it. Unless you get rid of the old one, unless the old one has holes or it's been worn to death and you need to replace it. If it's in good condition, you don't need it. You don't need another one of it. This is how you create a closet full of clothes and never have anything to wear. Like, this is how that happens. You really like the silhouette of something or the style of something and you just buy the same thing over and over and over again. Nothing about it has changed. Always, always, always check your inventory. Obviously, you should be purchasing more than one thing in a cut or style that is flattering to your body, but I always recommend that you get it in maybe a different color or fabric or texture so that you have versatility in your closet. These are all the things that I routinely do. Like, right now it's at a point for me that it's subconscious. Before I buy anything, like, these are the things that I do without question, and they help me so much. I know I talk about a lot of things on my channel, but remember that this is my job to test things out. So I do get sent things, I do buy things to hopefully help you find what works for you. That is my job, not your job. You don't have to buy every single thing that people online talk about. Their job is to try things so that you can find what works for you or what you like, so just remember that. I know that it's very hard with social media. Like, there's just so much at all times. A little recap. If you can't limit your time online, tailor the people that you're following. Do research on your body type. Please make wish lists and ask yourself, is it versatile? Is it useful? Is it practical? Is it going to suit my body type? And do I already own something exactly like this? It's okay to give in every now and then. Obviously, trends are fun. If you like style, experimenting is fun, but use your stuff. Obviously, we're not perfect. We're gonna impulse buy here and there. But if you exercise this muscle and you really make this a routine and you make this like second nature to you, sure, you might impulse buy maybe once or twice a year, but it's way better than impulse buying every single time you come across something that you think might work for you. Try to practice these things if you can, or make your own list and see if it works for you. If you guys have any of your own tips, leave them down below. I will leave the other videos that I've done on this subject because I've done a couple. I'll leave them down below, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video.